where it doesn't work out that way, Love and Logic is really good. I'd really encourage you to visit the website. They have tapes. They usually come through Phoenix once a year. We'll send home stuff like that. But it's really good ways of parenting and helping your kids, you know, do the things we're trying to do, because we got a lot of ideas from them.
They have ongoing classes too in Cottonwood.
Yeah, I noticed that in the paper that they just started it up. The only thing I have, since we had Jim Fay and
Real thing, yeah.
I mean, we took a course as a school once, and it was okay. And the ironic thing is, when Jim Fay used to do it, this is like 20 years ago, when we were in Colorado, and he'd talk about his son Charlie. And now Charlie's the one who comes around and does it. So it's really, you know, it worked for him. So those are some of the goals. You know, basically what we're trying to do is just get functional people, because the planet could use all the functional people we can come up with. Okay, individualization. I sort of explained why we do individualization, because everyone's different. Some people, things come real easily for. Some things come really hard for people. And what I've learned over the years, it's not that the kids aren't trying to get it. I mean, some of them are really, some of them are fooling around sometimes, but kids really want to do it. And if reading is hard for you, you know, we have to come up with ways to help you read. If math is difficult for you, we need to come up with ways that it makes sense. Because what I've noticed over the years, it's really, none of the kids are saying, you know, I don't want to learn it. They want to learn it, but everyone's brains are sort of hooked up differently. And some kids, it's a cinch. Some kids, it's a struggle. But we also have this idea that there's nothing wrong with struggle, because sooner or later in your life you're going to struggle. And if all along the way someone's padded your path and stuff, it's going to be a harder fall than, you know, if you're sort of used to struggle. So some of the kids who really have a rough go, like learning to read or something, and they keep at it and they keep at it, and finally it clicks, you know, for their life, they know what it takes. Whereas it's really nice if everything comes easily, but it'd be good early on to have some things not come easily, because then you learn how to cope with it, you know, as opposed to waiting until you're 18 and then wham, that's really harsh. So we do assessments. Big picture is, you know, like I mentioned, for reading, from not being able to read anything to read anything. Each way along the line, all your kids are in different places for being able to do it. There's all different ways. This part is just ways we individualize. Math groups are, it doesn't really depend on the age of the child, but when they're ready, when they've mastered a concept and they're ready for a new concept, how it's presented to them is I meet with them in a math group, the concept's presented, then they practice it on their own and work on it. They have reading and writing groups. Reading, they read individually to teachers or adults. They have individual reading work. In writing groups, they're sort of by grades. There's a 3rd grade writing group that I have. Ginny and Chandra each have half of the 2nd graders for their writing groups, and Terry has the 1st years for her writing group. So there's all different ways that they work. They work individually, they work in small groups, they help each other out. Sometimes they're all in a large group. So there's all the different ways that they learn how to get along with each other. Their individual work is what they do at their places, and it's also independent work. In Montessori, there's a little ongoing hassle sometime about the use of computers with this age group. And I've gotten myself into trouble more than once because we use computers. I mean, these kids, like for me, it was TV. You know, I was a TV generation. My parents had radio. These kids don't know any different. They don't know not having a cell phone. They don't know not having an iPad. They don't know not having computers. And it's part of their life. You know, my thought is, if Maria Montessori, remembering she was 400 years or so ago now, she'd be on computers like that because it's a whole another way to assess kids. You know, we have lots of programs that they do where they take assessments and it assigns them a list of activities to do. So it's another way to individualize. So they do computers, and it's, I mean, it's sort of an interesting world because where I see us now with education is we're sort of in between two parts. I mean, the kids don't use money. A nickel's not worth anything. They go to the store, you can't get, they don't see you guys use money, you get your plastic out. I could buy something for a dime, but they still have to know change and money. Okay? You don't, I mean, I know I'm old because I asked you ask someone younger what time it is, don't get out their phone and look at that, okay? But we're still teaching analog clocks. But, so we're sort of in the cusp is how I look at it. And I wonder about, okay, you're not going to use analog clocks, you have this cute little phone, but 2:30 will mean nothing because 2:30 will have no meaning. It'll be all linear instead of, so I think about these things, just how your brains will function differently with all the technology we have. So these are all different things we use. Lexia is a computer program for reading, Orchards for math, Leap Tracks for math language reading. Then they also use accelerated reading and math, star reading and math assessments, Math Facts on File Study Island. So there's an awful lot of things that they're doing. Now what you need to realize is that we start off slowly. The kids have all been on vacation during the summer. The teachers have even had at least an altered schedule. And if we did everything the first day of school, not only would your kids all not come back, the teachers wouldn't come back either because no one would know what the heck was going on. So I'll skip down to normalization. In Montessori talk, normalization is learning how the classroom works. It's sort of like school boot camp. You know, you're enlisted, you've been sent off, and here's how it works. It's sort of my analogy that's in your other paper. It's like being in a different culture. Like when Terry and I go to France, ooh la, you know, it's a big surprise and takes a while to adjust to it. And figuring stuff out and everything. And it's like this, and you really have to be understanding of your kids. It is a lot. I mean, they come and their moms say, well, doesn't want to come to school today. And I can go, yeah, me too. And towards the end of last week, I mean, the first 3 days were okay. You know, we can make it through 3 days. And then the next week's 5 days. And reality sort of rears its ugly head that this is going to be going on for a while, kids. You know, so they sort of, you know, and we're in that step now. And so I was going through them. Yes, we have school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you get the weekend. Did you know that in some countries kids don't even, they have 6 days of school? 6.5? You know, so, I mean, part of it is just get them to bed, hydrate them, and listen to them. But normalization and Montessori talk is just learning how it works. How do I do my work? What is my work? What do I do when that's done? How do I get to the bathroom? How do I clean up after lunch? You know, all the questions you have when you go someplace. How does it work, basically? And the really important important part of this is you have kids of 3 years. Everyone comes in the first year sort of agog. Then the second year you sort of have a clue. And then the third year you're expected really to be, you know, helping everybody out. So it's really a growth for the child through the different years of the classroom. And that's one reason why we have mixed age groupings. Another reason, if you read Montessori, it's called, there's planes of development. You know, they didn't just decide, oh, 6 to 9-year-olds, yeah, that sounds good, we'll put them in together, or 9 to 12, which is upper elementary or middle school, but there's psychological, physical, and emotional reasons for all these things. And it's also, you know, like I've said, it's also like, you know, the kids don't just in their neighborhood or whatever play, are you 9 years old? Okay, I can play with you because I'm 9 too. You hang out with whoever you can play with. And also, it's really good because for the kids who are advanced in something or the kids who are having a struggle, you're not that noticeable. I mean, the kids, if you ask them, they all keep track and know where everybody is. But, you know, it's not like, it's not, there's always, you sort of blend in better. If you're a first year and you could read really well, that's okay. You'll read really well, but there's probably some third graders who could read better.